Welcome to this edition of the Mayor's Report for Livermore. I'm your host, Sblend Sblendorio. Joining me today is Mayor John Marchand from the rodeo city of Livermore.
Absolutely.
Good
to be here, Sblend.
Thanks for being here, John. All right, we'd like to start off the show with something you've picked that is so important. You got to tell everybody first up.
Well, so obviously there's all kinds of great things happening in Livermore, and something that happens nowhere else in the world but in Livermore is we had the birthday celebration for the longest continuously burning light bulb in the world. It's been burning continuously for 125 years, with just a couple of breaks when they had to move it to the new fire station. But of course that started out as in a hose rack on 2nd Street and then moved to the fire station. It was donated by Dennis Burnell. And they moved to the fire station on 1st Street, right across from Zachary's Pizza. There's a mural that Vera Gordiev did on the side of the building, and commemorates where our light bulb started. And it was funny, the firefighters, as they would leave on a call, they used to slap the light bulb on the way out because it's just hanging by a cord. And then in 1972 or so, when they were getting ready to build the new fire station, has anybody ever turned that thing off? It's been on. And they realized that it had been burning continuously. And this is something that was quite notable. Well, in 2015, we had the 1 millionth hour celebration. In 2001, we had the 100-year celebration. And it's funny because I bought a T-shirt in 2001 commemorating the 100th birthday. And when I bought that, it never occurred to me that I would be back 25 years later as the mayor to celebrate the 125th anniversary.
So you didn't take like a Sharpie to it and just change the 1 to a 0.
No, I kept it legit, kept it original. And Juliette Goodrich from Channel 5, she was there for the 100th year, and she was back there for the 125th year. So it's one of these things that it transcends generations. And I think this is, they were originally, we had a volunteer fire department in the original fire station, and they were called the Livermore Fire Boys. And what's, I think, remarkable is the same light that shone over the Livermore Fire Boys 125 years ago is the same light bulb that shines over the men and women who protect our community. So that light bulb that watches over the people that watch over our community.
That's great. Yeah, that's great.
And I just think that's wonderful. So that was the 125th anniversary of the light bulb. We had a cake celebration, and there were over 800 people there singing happy birthday to our light bulb.
John, sorry, but I have to ask, is it for a 125th birthday of a light bulb, are candles appropriate?
We did not have candles. We had a really cool decorated cake, which I actually cut using a fire axe. So that was the fun thing. Speaking of fire apparatus, one of the things, as you know, is I go back every year for the U.S. Conference of Mayors. It rotates in different cities. In the winter meeting, it's always Washington, D.C. This was down in Long Beach. But one of the things that they brought up was in the last 5 to 10 years, there are these equity firms that are buying up the manufacturers of fire apparatus. And this is something that was occurring really without my notice. But I have noticed that as we were ordering new fire equipment, that it was taking longer. And not only that, it's getting more expensive. So now all the fire apparatus manufacturers are controlled by about 3 equity firms. So now the price of a fire engine used to be about $500,000. They're now running around $1 to $1.1 million. The fire trucks were about $1 million, $1.2 million. Now they're $2.5 million. But what's even more dangerous, if you will, than that.
Disconcerting.
Yeah, well, the fact that it now takes 5 years to deliver a fire engine, because none of these things are off the showroom floor, if you will. They're all specifically designed for the community. So what your capacity of water tank is, what's your pumping capacity, all these different things. So every fire engine is custom made. But now it's taken 5 years to deliver a fire engine. And now what they're saying is, you agree to an intermediate price, but then once this thing is delivered, you have to pay the actual cost. So not only is it inflation, but it's, as they say, if you control all the supply, you can demand whatever you want. It's the law of supply and demand. Yeah. So they've limited the competition, and now not only has the price gone up, but the lead time. So if you realize you're going to need a fire engine, you better order it 5 years before you actually need it. So this is something that we're as city mayors, we're coming up and recognizing that this is going to require not only state but national legislation to get this thing fixed.
Wow, that's really increasing costs there.
Yeah. Well, and this is public safety. I mean, this is bottom line public safety. As you need these ladder trucks as communities start to go up.
Yeah, and of course they wear out.
Yeah. Just like anything.
Just like anything, right?
Yeah. So, and that's why the capital improvement plan is so important. Is you have to have these assets replaced in a timely fashion. Well, where it used to be a year, now it's 5 years. So you have to plan even farther in advance.
All right, John. You recently had your State of the City address.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful luncheon at the community center, and you had a lot of people there. Regale us. Tell us a little bit about it. You were in your moment, as they say. So tell us a little bit about it, and I'll remind the viewers that if you missed it, it's available here on TV 30. The recording of it is available.
And so anybody that's seen my State of the City realizes that I have fun with this. When I was writing this State of the City for this year, I realized that this is the 15th State of the City that I've delivered. And 2 of those were when I was the acting mayor, when I was interim, as I was an acting mayor, when I was the vice mayor. And so I realized that this is the 13th one that I've actually written. And that means that I am the longest serving mayor in Livermore history. And now that we have term limits, that's probably going to be it. So I'm deeply honored. And the fact that people actually pay to hear me talk about the city I love. And it just doesn't get any better than that.
Well, John, it was a pretty good lunch.
Yeah, but that's not why the people are coming. They can buy a lunch anywhere. So, but thank you for that. I'll remember that. This is, and if people are so inclined, now my State of the City was 137 slides long. But don't, as you said, don't let that scare you. In the first minute, I've got 35 slides recounting the 150 years of Livermore. And so if your viewers don't look at anything else, just watch that first minute, because it's really a lot of fun as you go, oh yeah, oh yeah. So as you recount 150 years of history in 1 minute, to music, which makes it even more fun.
Oh, no, it was great. It was wonderful.
So, as I said, I have fun doing that. But we talked about how we've got strategic investments in our community. The number one item in our budget, which is the numerical representation of your priorities, is public safety. Mm-hmm. And that's paying off, because those strategic investments, Livermore was ranked as one of the top 2 cities in the state of California as safest communities. So those investments are working. We've got, we were recognized as one of only 6 cities in the Bay Area as a clean city by Caltrans. And that's because we're bringing the community together, we're making strategic investments. We have these community cleanup days, we have litter cleanup days, we've got our community service day. So all of these different opportunities for people to step up and make a difference. relaunched my Glad to Be in Livermore program, which is an acronym. GLAD is Graffiti and Litter Abatement Daily. It's such a simple thing. You see litter on the ground. It's really just a change of mindset. It's going from, well, I didn't leave that there. It's like, what can I do at this moment to improve my community? Well, I can pick up that piece of litter. And it instantly improves the community. So those are little things. So we relaunched that. And we're updating our general plan. So we talked about that. We talked about how we have acquired very strategic pieces of open space around our community. Now, what I find amazing is there's a group of people that is opposed to the city preserving open space. Doesn't matter. We're committed to do this. We're buying up these lands, and they're being preserved in perpetuity. And as Mark Roberts would say, that's a long time. So we're making these investments, continuing the path to keep Livermore the remarkable place that it is, and the fact that we have thousands of people stepping up to keep Livermore a clean city, to keep Livermore a great place to be. The nonprofits that we work with, Tri-Valley Nonprofit Alliance, the Open Heart Kitchen, which was recognized as Nonprofit of the Year by Assemblymember Rebecca Bauer-Cahan. These are people that are making a difference every single day in our community, and that's what makes the state of the city and makes being the mayor so much fun.
Well, I mean, you can tell how much pride you have, John, and you can tell from the audience how much they enjoy you and appreciate the job you've done.
Well, thank you. And also, so we had the 125th anniversary of the light bulb on June 26th. Coming up at the end of this month, we're going to be celebrating the 150th anniversary of the incorporation of Livermore. So the year that Livermore became a city. So we're celebrating that on June 26th. We're going to be at Livermorium Plaza from 5 to 8. And come on down and celebrate your community.
Right. Yeah, you got to promote that. Of course you do.
Absolutely.
All right, John. What I want to do is just ask you one more question about your State of the City address.
Okay.
And I noticed that you recognized, and you mentioned public safety is #1 priority, but you recognized obviously the chief, obviously the fire chief, but you recognized, you know, a lot of public servants, and I think that's something to be noted, that you took the time to recognize, have them stand up and everybody show their appreciation for what they do.
Well, thank you. And this is one of the things, and I mentioned this during my State of the City, is I get to work with remarkable people that are passionate about their community. This is not just a job. You talk to any of the rank and file, and they have an appreciation for what they do, and they understand the importance of what they do. And the great thing is, as the mayor, I get to take credit for all of it, and yet I'm not doing any of it. I'm just giving them the tools that they need to do the jobs that they're passionate about. So I'm honored to recognize them, because the great work, we're a team that works together.
Great job. Thank you, John. We'll take a short break, and we'll be right back on this edition of the Mayor's Report for Livermore. Welcome back to this edition of the Mayor's Report for Livermore. We are here talking with Mayor John Marchand. Welcome back, John.
Good to be back.
All right. You know, we just had a primary here in California, but I want to talk about a measure that's going to be on the ballot in November that is seeking the voter approval to raise funds for transit agencies in the Bay Area. Can you tell us a little bit about this measure and what it proposes to do?
Yeah, well, it's called Connect Bay Area Act, and it's raising the sales tax, half-cent sales tax, to fund the transit agencies, Muni, BART, AC Transit, the agencies that really move the Bay Area. So we have one of the highest sales taxes in the entire state here in Alameda County, so it's going to raise that a half-cent. But as you know, a lot of the transit agencies are facing this fiscal cliff, because since the pandemic, people aren't riding public transit as much, and the COVID funds for transit from the federal government have ceased. So we get this huge cliff that we're coming up to, and there needs to be another funding mechanism. On one hand, Livermore has been paying for BART for the last 50 years, and we don't have it, and they're talking about, well, if you don't pay more sales tax, we're going to take it away from you, even though you don't even have it. On the other hand, there's 500,000 people a day that use BART, so if it's not funded, there's going to be just gridlock throughout the entire Bay Area. So it's going to be a difficult thing to weigh. We need to keep moving people, and the most efficient way to move people is through transit.
Okay, so between now and November, your advice is to our viewers is read up on this. It's an important measure that'll be on not just Alameda County, but San Francisco and
Right.
Contra Costa, Santa Clara, San Mateo, et cetera.
Yeah, San Francisco has to raise theirs 1 cent, but everybody else is half cent. So,
Okay, thank you
but
very
follow
much.
that one.
All right, John. Hey, your downtown's always lively. We want to talk a couple of things that's going on in your downtown. But first, there's probably no fun place to be than Blacksmith Square on actually more than Friday and Saturday nights, but Sundays and Thursdays.
Well, Monday night,
Mondays.
After Monday night, Faith Alfer was sworn in as our new poet laureate. She took everybody down to
the Blacksmith Square.
to Swizzle on the square, and they had a party down there on Monday night.
Well, but it's expanding.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the, when is the space going to be available? Who's moving in? If you know.
All kinds of fun stuff. So Mike Madden owns that, and Maroon Bear. And that's just, as you said, it's one of the most beloved spots in Livermore. Livermore we were incorporated. The enacting legislation was carried by the Livermore blacksmith, who also happened to be a state senator. So that was in 1876 when we incorporated. Story Coffee is going to be moving in there. They're going to be moving into the coffee shop, which is just north of the Stockman's Park sign. And his father was a firefighter at Fire Station Number 9 here in Livermore. So again, we've got this generational thing about service to Livermore. So he's hoping to move in at the end of August. So that's going to be Story Coffee in the North Building, building number 4 as they call it. Building number 3, which is along Railroad, that's going to be Doppio Zero. It's an Italian place, an Italian restaurant, and they've started, and they're hoping to open later this year. That's Doppio Zero. The bigger building, the big one on the south end, that's the brickwork on that is just stunning. It's amazing. But that's going to be a 1, maybe 2 restaurants. There's a downstairs, and then the second floor, and then rooftop dining is going to be there. So nobody's signed a lease just yet, but there are some local names that are looking into that. The exterior work should be finished by the end of this month, by the end of June. But I said the architecture is just stunning.
Oh, great. Looking forward to it, John. There you go. Oh, it's an exciting place. But there was a groundbreaking about a few weeks ago for the Eden housing project. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, for Eden Housing, and more importantly, the groundbreaking was for Veterans Park. Because the city is committed to building Veterans Park. There's been some rumblings about, maybe they're not going to build it. No, we're going to build it. And that's why we had the groundbreaking, was to underscore the fact that, yes, the city of Livermore is going to be building Veterans Park to commemorate the service of the veterans to our community and to our nation. So that was May 18th. And everybody was there. We had representatives from Senator McNerney's office, Assemblymember Bauer Cahan's office. We had Innovation Tri-Valley, the Chamber of Commerce, Livermore Valley Wine Growers Association were all there. So it was quite the event. A $6.1 million check was delivered from the county to Eden Housing. To support the project. It was also $14 million in Measure A1 funding, National Housing Trust Fund, Neighborhood Stabilization Program, No Place Like Home, the project-based vouchers, low-income housing tax credits. All kinds of different groups have come in to fund that. It's taken 8 years to bring that to fruition. And that's why, for me, it was so important to have a groundbreaking for Veterans Park. We're going to start in 2027. They're going to be advancing the park through the design process. And ultimately, the park construction, because there's a lot of remediation that has to be done. There's a lot of contaminated soil out there. So we're looking to actually start construction in the winter of 28.
Oh, great, John. That's
looking forward to that.
Great addition to downtown.
Well, it's back at, you've got Veterans Park, Stockman Park, the Stockman's Park and the Blacksmith Square. So all these really cool things that are happening right there in the downtown.
Thank you, John. Now let's talk about upcoming events, which, this is we're getting into the summer here, so there's a lot of things going on in Livermore. Give us
all kinds of stuff. So toward the end of this month, June 20th, is the citywide garage sale. So everybody got stuff that's been sitting around in their garage and you want to clear out some space, now's the garage sale. So check in with livermoresanitation.com. They're the ones that are keeping track of all the different addresses, but it's going to come out. Everybody's going to be out there, and so if you got some stuff you want to get rid of, you can repurpose that and put some money in your pocket. The City of Livermore, as I mentioned before, is the 150th anniversary, June 26th at Livermorium Plaza, the place downtown with the great big 11,000-pound ball representing the nucleus of Livermorium. There's going to be live music, refreshments, local artists from the Livermore Art Association, and more. We actually had a really cool thing from the Livermore Valley Arts. They had the history of art in 7 minutes. It was projected on the wall at Pete's right there at Livermorium Plaza. And then, of course, finally, the July 4th celebration is going to be from 9 to 1, so we avoid the heat, but that's going to be a celebration of the warbirds down at the Livermore Airport. So we're going to have food trucks out there. Amuse Kitchen is going to be there. There's going to be military aircraft. And the fireworks are going to be returning to the fairgrounds. Because Livermore doesn't have a space for it anymore, not for a regional display, but the fairgrounds are bringing back the fireworks display on July 4th. It's been gone for better than a decade, but they're going to be doing it, so you can come down to the Livermore Airport for our celebration here in the morning, and you can go to the fireworks display in the evening at the fairgrounds.
Great, and I take it, maybe not the fireworks at the fairgrounds, but you'll be at
absolutely.
All those events.
Butter and Batter is going to be there, and they make those great big cookies. They're fabulous. So I'll be down there.
All right, great, John. Thank you so much for being here and updating us.
Certainly.
And thank you for joining us on this edition of the Mayor's Report for Livermore. Join us for the next episode of the Mayor's Report right here on Tri-Valley TV. I'm Sblend Sblendorio. Thank you so much for watching.